Welcome back to Day 2 coverage of the 2017 North Coast Swimming and Diving Championships from the Trumbull Aquatics Center on the campus of Denison University in Granville, Ohio. Again, I'm Russell Kramer of the NCAC office, and thank you for joining us as we bring you exclusive coverage of all week of the 33rd NCAC Swimming and Diving Championships. Finals opened up tonight in front of an electric crowd with the women's 200 free relay, where the Denison Big Red, made up of freshman Gabrielle Nutter, senior Carolyn Kane, freshman Casey Kirby, and freshman KT Kustritz, touched the wall in 1:34.47. Kane posted the fastest split of 23 flat. The Big Red took home first place for the 10th straight year. Rounding out the top three was Kenyon in second and DePaul in third. On the men's side, the Big Red returned to the top of the podium in the 200 free relay for the first time since 2014 as senior Max House, freshman Eric Gerlach, junior Jason Westling, and junior Zach Wagner touched the wall with an NCAA B-cut time of 1:21.40. Wagner led all swimmers with a 50 split time of 19.86. Kenyon finished second in 1:22.38, and DePaul rounded out the top three in 1:22.41. In the first individual event of the night, Kenyon sophomore Marisol Arce topped the field in the 500 free with an NCAA B-cut time of 4:51.47 for her second career NCAC title in an individual event. Arce talked about her second individual crown and the confidence the win gives her moving forward.
I'm really happy with my race, and it gives me a lot of confidence for this weekend because this season, I don't know if I was in tip-top shape as much as last season, but now I don't really have any doubts.
We talked before we came on, Marisol, about, it was a tight race kind of throughout the 500. There was sort of a pack of three there up top leading the rest of the group. And you said it hurt a little bit tonight. Where did you find that extra energy there in that last 100, 150 to kind of extend that lead and pull out the championship?
Well, the energy really came from my teammates. I think it really helps to see that huge crowd cheering for me, and I just want to win for them.
You talk about your teammates. I want to ask the connection between yourself and your lap marker there at the end. Is that something you notice when they're down there on the end and they're running that lap number down and you see their energy? Is there a particular person that you choose, or is it just whoever volunteers that evening? Sort of take me through that relationship.
Well, I guess a lot of the times I asked the other distance swimmers to do it because they kind of know like our preferences, but tonight I asked one of my best friends, Delaney, to do it for me because she wasn't swimming tonight, and she's always like there for me, so I thought it was nice.
And finally, Marisol, in a race like the 500, when you hear that bell lap and you know it's your last 50, how excited is that for you? And is that something that gives you just a little extra jolt to gut out that last 50 and eventually win your championship?
Definitely. The bell really helps because it's just a 50 and you've already done a 450, so it's like, just give it all you got.
Kenyon took home the clean sweep in the 500 freestyle events after freshman Connor Rumpet reached the wall first in the men's finals with an NCAA B-cut time of 4:29.17. I had a chance to catch up with Rumpert after his race.
Oh, it's great. I wasn't sure how much time I'd be able to drop, but I was lucky to drop some great time in prelims and kind of have that momentum carry me through to finals. Once I got to finals, it was just about trying to control the race and have a commanding lead, and I think I took care of that pretty well, so I'm really happy.
You talk about controlling that race, Connor. One of the things that I noticed, it felt kind of like a fairly tight pack, the two or three there at the top, but then that last 100, 150, you really sort of stretched it out and extended that lead. Were you feeling, really confident throughout the course of the race that allowed you to have that extra kick there in the last 100, 150?
Yeah, well, I was feeling a little hesitant at the beginning of the race just because I had no experience in a NCAC final before, but once I got into gear, I just tried to keep that rhythm going, and I tried to just pull away and distance myself from the field.
You talk about, your first ever NCAC race and first ever NCAC meet. What's this experience been like for you? When you touched the wall and you realized that you were an NCAC champion, how exciting was that for you, and what was it like standing on the blocks for the first time?
It was great. It was just an amazing experience overall. It was one of my goals for the season to be a conference champion, so I'm really glad I can cross that off the list. And it was great just to see my teammates cheering for me and just to be able to race a lot of my rivals on my team. it was just a great experience.
Denison first-year standout KT Kustritz picked up her first career NCAC title in an individual event with an NCAA B-cut time of 2:04:31 in the 200 IM. Kustritz, who was joined by 3 other teammates in the top 4 and dropped time from her prelim swim, spoke about her first night at the conference championship.
I was a little nervous starting off. Like, it's definitely a really crazy environment here, so just to have it under my belt tomorrow, it gives me a little more confidence and just being calm and knowing what to expect.
We talked before going on an air. You had a chance to open the night, your first finals night, swimming a leg on the 200 free relay, and you were able to get the team victory. How much did being a part of that team and getting in the pool early and having that success kind of give you some more confidence heading into your individual event?
Definitely a lot. I mean, we all just get each other fired up, and the 50 free is so fun. It goes by like this, but we really rallied and got each other excited, so that was a really fun way to start the meet.
200 IM, you look at that finals, a lot of teammates in that race with you. 3 of the top 4 and 5 of the top 9 were Big Red swimmers tonight. When you have a chance to swim in a final like that with so many teammates that you've practiced with, you've kind of gone through the rigors throughout the course of the season, how much fun is that to be a part of an event like that?
It's so fun because we all just rally together, and we couldn't make through the week without each other. And looking over to me, I had Garza to my right, and just racing her and knowing she was there just pushed me so much more.
We've had a chance to talk throughout the course of your season, and the breaststroke is something that you really, really strive and take advantage of, especially in the IM where you can't hide anything, and you can't hide the breaststroke especially. And you look at this race tonight, going into that, you were half a body length behind, and you really made up some pretty incredible ground. Just how much confidence do you have in that stroke, and how important is that for your success throughout the rest of this weekend?
I just like the front half of that race, I got to just relax and know that the breaststroke's coming. So it feels good to know that I can move forward in that stroke, and tomorrow is 100 breast, which will be really fun. So it gives me confidence.
In the men's 200 IM, Denison senior Jack Lindell successfully defended his conference crown in the event with an NCAA B-cut time of 1:49:83. 2017 marked the 9th straight year a Big Red swimmer has won this event. After the race, I caught up with the Edina, Minnesota native, beginning with his initial thoughts on his 4th individual NCAC title.
It was a bit of a booster. Last week we kind of got our butts kicked in practice, so just kind of trying to dust off the cobwebs. I took it out a lot faster tonight and was able to hold on, so that was nice.
The IM, of course, testing all strokes. It's an event that really it's hard to hide anything in your repertoire of swims and skills. For you, what are you most confident out there, especially in the 2 IM? It's a pretty quick turnaround for all 4. Where are you kind of finding your confidence throughout the course of that race?
I think the biggest thing is just being able to kind of rip a good backstroke time without having to try too much. This morning was a bit of a struggle, but tonight I just kind of felt the groove, so that was a lot better.
For you, being a back-to-back winner, 7th time in NCAC history, this event's been won in back-to-back years, 9th overall as a 2-time champion. Going forward from this evening and today's performance, kind of what was the message to the team tonight? How do you take the momentum from this evening and springboard it into tomorrow?
Well, this morning we just kind of had low energy on deck, and I saw that kind of switch on in a lot of guys tonight. The energy was a lot better, the cheering was a lot better, and so I think that's kind of propelling our momentum into tomorrow and Saturday. It's just kind of the feel-good attitude on deck. The
final individual swimming events of the evening featured the fastest swims of the meet, the 50 free. Big Red senior Carolyn Kane topped the podium in the individual event for the 4th time in her career after winning with an NCAA B-cut time of 23:59. The Minnesota native who won the 100 free in 2015 spoke about her performance in tonight's 50.
Yeah, this win was for the team. We're trying to take a race, an event, one by one, and I really just wanted to go out there and win for the team and get as many points as possible to maximize that so we can win at the end of the day.
The 50 free undoubtedly is such a quick race. The start and the turn are so important when times are as close as they are, razor thin. What's key for you in this 50 free, either at the start or at the turn, that you really focus on that obviously ultimately was successful tonight for you?
What I think is most important is just staying in my own lane and not worrying about what other people are doing, and focus on my own race strategy and just taking it home and getting my hand on the wall before everybody else.
And finally, Carolyn, you talk about the team looking ahead through the rest of the week. This was a great start for you and the rest of your teammates tonight. What are you excited about looking forward to the next couple of days? What will be key for this team just to continue tonight's momentum?
Yeah, we had a lot of energy on deck today. Some very inspiring swims from people all around the board like Hannah Rozinko and Katie Kuzritz. So, just keeping that energy and keeping it going on to the following days is really very important.
History was made in the men's 50 free as DePauw senior Brandon Schultes became just the second men's swimmer in program history to win an NCAC individual title after touching the wall first in an NCAA B-cut time of 20:65. I caught up with Schultes and asked him about his historic night.
Yeah, taking it out, I just knew that I had to be the first one to the wall, especially in the 50. If you're not first to the wall, it's tough to win. So I flipped, looked back, and I saw a guy right next to me, and from there I put my head down and just tried to crank it out. So it was pretty exciting.
When you hit the wall on that last touch, and then you turn and you see, the one by your name and that you were the NCAC champion, just take me through that emotion. You smashed the water with your hand. You were really excited, obviously, and understandably, but what was that like for you personally?
Yeah, honestly, I was pretty in shock. I looked at my time first, and I was happy with the time, but I didn't know that was going to be what it took to win it. But then I saw the one by my name, and I was kind of just overcome. Didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do, and hitting the water was my first instinct. And then after that, just a rush of emotion. It was pretty exciting.
To represent this Tigers swimming program, the second ever individual to win an NCAC championship, Casey Hooker won a pair in his career, first ever for the Tigers to win in the 50. What does that mean to you? And speak to just the hard work you've put in over your career.
I mean, it means everything to me. Freshman year, I didn't roster, and that was kind of just like a grinding stone to push me forward. And since then, the 50's been my event, and I've always wanted to win it. And it was amazing to come out my senior year, last chance in the 50, to finally take it home. So it was really exciting.
And finally, Brandon, just looking ahead, a great way to end your evening on the first night of finals. A couple of days left in this conference championship. Well, what are you looking forward to most, not only for you individually, but what your teammates need to do just to continue to have a good showing this weekend?
Yeah, our relays have been pushing and working hard, and I think that tomorrow we can bring a medley out and get a nice relay there and hopefully push us on to nationals. So it's exciting.
After the 50 free, the crowd turned its attention to the diving well, where the men's 1 meter finals took place. The final individual event of the evening saw Denison's senior Max Levy post the Big Red's 7th straight league title in the men's 1 meter diving competition with an NCAA regional qualifying score of 5:35.20. Levy, who won the 3 meter in 2016, spoke about his first ever 1 meter conference title.
Well, I'd have to say tonight was a little bit rough to start off with. I felt a little bit too jittery. I didn't have enough food or enough snacks to hold me over, but I found a way to slow my heart rate, calm my breathing, and just sort of focus on what needed to be done. And it gives me a little bit of confidence moving into springboard and 3 meter on Saturday. But it's more 3 meter and 1 meter are a little bit different, and 1 meter's a lot more brute strength, while 3 meter is more finesse and more grace. So I feel like they have a lot in common, but I still have to try a little bit different tactic for both.
We've talked, Max, throughout your career about the chemistry that the divers and swimmers have with each other on this team and how important it is for both sides of the pool to really come out and show well. The 1 meter is an event that this diving team traditionally has been really strong at. This is the 6th straight year that a Big Red member has been at the top of the podium. And the 1 meter, you finished first tonight. Your classmate and teammate Brian Allen is in second with you. Just talk about the strength of this men's diving program and how important it is to this swimming and diving program as a whole, and how proud you are of your teammate Brian and his performance this evening.
Well, Brian obviously did a great job. He nailed it in prelims and really just he landed on his head, and he made his mark on finals. And I'm really proud to have him as a teammate because he pushes me every day, every practice, and I honestly wouldn't be where I am without him. And to go through these 4 years competing against him and always being neck and neck in most meets, it's a lot of fun, but it's also a little bit stressful because there's always that motivation or that little bit of jealousy if I don't win, or if he beats me by a little bit. There's always that little bit of edge that I really want to win next time, but I'm always happy for him, and I'm really glad that I was able to compete with him today, and we went 1-2.
The final event of the evening was the 400 medley relay, For the second straight year, Denison swept both the men's and women's race. In the women's race, freshman Casey Kirby, KT Kustritz, Angela Lee combined with senior Carolyn Kane to edge out Kenyon, touching the wall in 3:45.86, an NCAA B cut. Kenyon finished second, and DePaul turned in an impressive performance for third. On the men's side, junior Jason Westling, sophomore Tiernan Foster-Smith, sophomore Kenny Fox, and junior Zach Wagner touched the wall in an NCAA B-cut time of 3:18.23. Kenyon finished second, and Worcester turned in an impressive performance for third, earning all conference honors in the event for the second consecutive year. Now let's take a look at the final standings after day 2. Starting on the women's side, Denison continues to lead with 712 points. Kenyon sits in second with 625 points, followed by DePaul with 411, Worcester at 328, Oberlin 273, Ohio Wesleyan 219, Allegheny 208, Wittenberg 207, and Hiram with 150 total points. On the men's side, Denison continues to lead with 665 total points. Kenyon sits in second with 625 points. DePaul is in third with 437.5 points respectively, followed by Worcester at 308, Wabash at 288, Ohio Wesleyan with 240, Oberlin at 224, Allegheny with 171.5, Wittenberg at 160 total points, and Hiram in 10th with 92 total points. That will wrap up our exclusive coverage from day 2 of the 2017 NCAC Swimming and Diving Championships. Be sure to join us tomorrow for all the day 3 action, which gets underway with prelims at 10 a.m., the women's 1 meter prelim set for 1 p.m., and then we'll be back for finals at 6:30 p.m. Again, I am Russell Kramer at the North Coast Athletic Conference. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.